We're gonna call the meeting to order. First on the agenda is Route 44 development. I don't know if anybody's been past the Montello Street extension at this point in time, but they started felling trees today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they did.
Good.
They started felling trees, and there was a guy in there doing brush grubbing last week.
Good.
And some guys putting out signage saying, you know, construction zone, please drive carefully.
Excellent.
So that kind of stuff. So we're moving forward to that. PA Landers, I gave them the approval for the materials. The materials meet the specification in our rules and regs.
Good.
So it's pretty standard fare that, you know, PA Landers is going to be doing the work, and they do work to the standard of MassDOT.
Yeah.
So we certainly don't have things that are above MassDOT.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we ran it past I had the consulting engineer for whoever's consulting for there's a working group up there upstairs that's been working on that. They said everything looked fair and appropriate, at least by material specifications. I haven't seen an actual layout, but I know there's people that are looking at it.
Good.
So that's
Who
what
do
it
we
is.
have representing us? Who's overseeing for
We do
the
not
town?
have anybody that represents the North Carver Water District specifically, but anytime
Oh, we
stuff.
could use Michael.
Yep, we should, because he sent us a bill. Hey, it was worth a laugh.
I agree.
It was worth a laugh, which is why I brought it to you.
Excellent.
But I passed it along that Steve was available at least during the winter
Yep.
to do Thursdays, but they're doing things like on Mondays and Tuesdays, which, you know,
Yep.
Mondays and Tuesdays we're all working. So, but
As long as they keep us informed.
well, again, the emails cross my desk on occasion. Again, right now it's just a matter of felling trees and
Yeah.
doing road work.
That means they're moving on the.
Yeah, it's gonna go forward. I'm fairly comfortable that this is like a guaranteed thing
Good.
at this point. I think they've spent too much money. They're not gonna turn back now.
No.
There's too much skin in the game.
Yep.
They're gonna move forward with this, however it works out. I do know that we're not gonna do this in the fall, but in the spring there will likely be something for a zoning
Town
change
For height.
to raise the height of the buildings in that area. The fire chief has legitimate concerns
Mm-hmm.
and is well advised. He's doing his due diligence, and you know,
Good.
I have always said that if you make the fire chief happy, you'll get what you want.
Yep.
So, and you know, the town meeting will follow his lead on this.
Guaranteed.
So if you know, if he gets what he wants, whether there's a request now for an increased storage for fire protection, not necessarily elevated storage, but there's some question whether 500,000 gallons, 500,000 gallons of fire protection is actually going to be adequate for any fire that happens both interior and any fire that maybe migrates to exterior, because we also need to protect trucks that might be parked at a loading bay that
Yep.
might catch fire, and maybe the fire extends to something that's outside of the building, something
How
that
come the
can't
initial,
something that can't be sprinkled from the interior.
I thought it was 1,000,000-gallon tank is what was the number
It was
for fire protection.
it was
and
half
pressure.
mil. It was 500,000.
All right.
It was 500,000 gallons is what they had proposed.
And we have how much storage now?
We currently have about 80,000 gallons. Is that right? I'm not sure
No, I
what
think
I'm
you're
not
right.
sure what we have underground, but I believe that it's somewhere about 80,000
Yeah, I
gallons.
think you're right.
in addition to the 125,000 gallons that would be elevated storage. Now, we wouldn't want them to use all of that, but
Yeah.
again, there's another probably 80,000 there. So that the fire chief is asking for an increase in underground fire protection storage and connections that allow the trucks to connect to
System.
that storage.
My only concern is that if we have a major event up there, we have customers that we have to provide water to.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly, and that, again, that's a conversation that's going to continue between Redevelopment Authority, Fire Chief, North Carver Water District.
okay.
So that's going to be an ongoing conversation.
Yep.
Not quite sure what's happening with the connections on Santana Way. Whereas I guess Dave isn't calling us tonight, so I did send him the updated schedule.
So if we don't have Dave, I wonder if we could call Bruce or somebody like that to get some type of an update.
I don't believe that I have Bruce's contact.
I do.
Bruce Trimble.
Or even Mike might have some information. Let's see, I'll go with Bruce first.
I don't have Bruce. I lost him when I switched over my phone. I probably lost him when I got hacked 2 years ago.
Let me give him a jingle.
Okay.
Could be in Florida,
He could be.
which would be cool.
Let's interrupt his vacation. Mike, I do have.
Yeah, no answer from Bruce.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
Automatic voice messaging.
You want to try Mike?
I can. He's not answering either.
We're seeing your names pop up.
Uh-huh.
They're saying, oh no.
Please leave your message for
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So, well, I'll get it worked out.
Yeah.
It was just a rumor that I had heard today, and apparently I guess the rumor's true.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we'll get it worked out. And again, the Plymouth Street water line extension, I had a
Hold on, I
conversation.
got Bruce.
Oh, here we go.
Hey Bruce, it's Will and Kevin at the North Carver Water District. You're on speaker. How you doing?
Hey, Will, how you doing? Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Bruce.
So we normally have a representative, Dave, that usually calls us and gives us an update on the system. Are you aware of anything that might be going on with the North Carver water system, or is it?
Sorry.
Okay.
Dave was let go. It's
Okay.
one of those. It's one of those things that we just forgot to do.
Okay.
One of those responsibilities that he had that just kind of slipped through the slipped through the
The cracks.
slipped
We
through
get
the
it.
crack on us. Yes. So I am not up to date on what's going on there.
All right.
But
Well, at your earliest convenience, Bruce, could you send over whoever's going to be helping us out in the midterms? I don't know if Mike's going to pitch in, like just as in conference calling and stuff like that or not. You know, I don't know if he's
yeah,
available to do that.
we hired a new supervisor over there, a new GM, a new divisional manager
Okay.
in water, and his name is Steve.
Okay.
So I'll get you guys in touch with him.
Great.
And I'm so sorry that this slipped through the cracks. We
No,
should have
it's
thought
all right,
about this
bud.
beforehand.
You know, this is, things change. People move,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's great to hear from you. I thank you very much for taking our call and returning it.
Oh, no problem. I just didn't know who the heck Will was. I went, Will.
There's only one of me, dude. World can't take another one.
Yeah.
He has a,
Yeah.
he has a
Well,
twin.
from now on, I'll know.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
Okay, and we'll get you an update just as quick as we can.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you, Bruce.
No problem.
All
Yeah,
right,
bye-bye.
bye-bye. There you go.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, we got something.
Okay, well, business is business, and that's
That's it.
Yeah, it's it's not always pretty.
Never is.
So, okay, so and again, Plymouth Street water line extension. So that doesn't help us with Santana Way, but it does. I can tell you a little bit about the Plymouth Street water line extension. The health agent reached out to me today, and we had a conversation about betterments and or privilege fees and people's major issue there is, I guess from the conversation that I had with him today, people's major issue is that the ones that connect don't necessarily want to pay for a water rate.
Yeah. Huh?
They don't want to
They
pay.
just want free water?
Exactly. Now, in my response to him was, I'm not. I have an understanding about the reasons why, and I can understand why people are reticent to, because through no fault of their own, value was taken away from their properties by the fact that their wells are no longer viable for whatever reason. The town has accepted responsibility for that. The problem that I would have would be that, people who just, if they want the greenest lawn, they're gonna spend more, spread more water. If they have swimming pools, those kinds of things. So if the town could reach an agreement with them about paying the minimum cost for their water, that the person who's connected to the system would pay anything above that. And that was the thought that I had. The select board might be able to reach agreement with people that way. Now, again, I guess of the 19 homes that are available to connect, nobody, 0 people have said that they want to connect.
Well, they have a problem with their water. Their wells
They
are junk.
do.
So they can't
They can't
put in a system on their own to
They-
take care of the problem.
They can't provide potable water.
Right.
It's not for drinking, not for consuming in any way, but they can take showers and they can
Yeah.
water their lawns and they can. So there are options available to them. He has contracted, the health agent has contracted with an individual who will make all the service connections. Everything right up to the point where, we can either connect or disconnect. And again, the health agent was gonna reach out to small water systems, I guess this new guy, Steve somebody.
Mhm.
Who
Steve
will-
the new guy.
Steve the new guy. Steve the new guy, who will,
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm not
Rick,
crashing.
come on in.
Well, you
Come
know,
on in.
come in.
I'll sit in the audience. I know you're
Okay.
meeting. You're on
How are you, pal?
TV. I'm all right. How you been?
Participate.
Been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Tracy, always a pleasure.
Yep, it
Yes,
is.
sir.
Where's your esteemed third member?
He's getting one of his appliances repaired.
That's important.
All this damage that we had during the storm, it's been fun.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So my only concern, my only problem is
Okay.
that the statement being made that they're gonna give free water.
Yeah, and I kind of barked back at him about the idea of free water. We don't do free
No.
and never have. However, if the town is going to participate in some measure with regard to minimum payments, then it's not really free water, is it?
So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Me as a taxpayer
I
that has
I
my own private well
I
that I
understand.
pay into,
Yep.
and
It's-
now I'm gonna
it's-
pay my friend's bill too.
It's difficult to get people in South Carver to consider
That ain't happening.
to consider the ramifications of what happens to people in North Carver, and it has always been that way. What the select board chooses to do moving forward is what the select board chooses to do.
Well, understand that we're a separate entity,
We are,
so
yes, and we would get paid every penny.
yeah.
But how the division of that goes would be, again, up to the select board. And we would have to continue the conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We would have to continue the conversation.
I'm in no way willing to, in my position, being here, to allow that to happen.
Right. Well, we're talking 19 homes, and
Yeah.
the minimum for a single-family residence is, what, 56 something per quarter, so,
So in my opinion, every resident in this town is supplementing the water district through taxes because of the investment that the community made. Everybody.
I would say everyone in this town has supplemented through free cash subsidy
Yep.
consistently for the last few years.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's not
When's the election?
it's not apples and oranges
When's the
here.
election?
It's really not apples and oranges here. It's apples and
Yeah.
apples.
Okay.
Just
Great information.
just the
No wonder
the,
why Steve stayed home.
the big picture here is that the town has
Yep.
subsidized
Got it.
the North Carver Water District for some number of years.
Yes, sir.
We have, as commissioners, worked hard
Yes, we
to
have.
make that number go down every year.
Yep.
We've been successful at doing that. So we'll continue the conversation. It's gonna have to be between probably the chair of the North Carver Water District and the chair of the Select Board as to how that proceeds, with advice from the administrator.
May I say one thing?
Yes, you can. Yes, you. I was hoping that you
Well,
would.
because a number of us were here during the origins of the water district.
We all were.
I think the fact that, the town's subsidy is intended to help the economic growth in that area of town, which in theory would accrue to the benefit of those taxpayers. So,
yes.
Without giving any judgment or opinion on the issue that you were specifically discussing with regard to the Plymouth Street area, I just want to make it clear that there's definitely an apples and oranges situation here.
Okay.
No, I mean, again, the one subsidy is definitely intended to help those people who are paying the subsidy. This is a different issue on its own merits, and that's, I don't want to comment on that right now, but I think
Okay.
the distinction should be clear.
Okay.
Excellent.
Plymouth Street is not about economic development.
No, again, I just want
It's
to.
about making properties whole again.
So I'm telling you something you already know, but I
Yep.
just think it's
Okay.
helpful for
All right.
for the public record to distinguish that project.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's not apples and apples, it's apples and oranges.
Yes.
They're still fruits.
And that's why we have
I might use that one.
And that's why we're graced with your presence tonight. I love it.
There's still fruits.
I love
Okay.
it when you have the history and you bring it back in,
If
baby.
you, am I done for this evening? Great
Thank
seeing
you.
you guys, it really is, been a long time.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
All right,
yep.
Stay in touch.
yes, I will.
Thank you, sir.
It's a long distance, the way this is going.
Yeah, well, we'll see if we can fix that.
Well, good information anyways, Kev.
Okay, so, again, to be continued.
Good.
Again, it was actually, he called me, and the question that he asked me is that if a single-family residence were to choose to connect to the water system, what would the betterment be?
Interesting.
And I did the math.
And what was the number?
$16,250.50.
So, let's throw that out there. So, in a hypothetical end of it,
Right.
so they were not harmed by anything that the water district did,
They were not.
but the water district was able to go down there and to provide a service if they choose. They were harmed by something that happened in the town, and the town has taken responsibility for that.
Something that happened a long time ago.
So that being said, as far as the betterment's concerned, I think you should throw that on the table as a waiver of the betterment for those residents.
I think that was the direction that the health agent was going.
Yep,
You are being provided with X amount of dollars
Mm-hmm.
worth of value
yep,
for no cost. We
Yes.
take care of everything, soup to nuts. Now, the betterment was 16,000 plus.
yep,
They're also getting the service connections for nothing.
yep.
They don't have to pay for meters.
No,
All of the plumbing's being taken care
but
of.
they'll have to pay a water bill.
Again, the water bill.
So the water bill, instead of paying their electricity on their own water system and the treatment and all that other
Exactly.
stuff, is the apples and oranges thing.
Exactly.
But as far as my opinion on, if it ever came to this board for a vote to not better them or not charge them the betterment, I would be intrigued with that discussion.
Okay. It likely will never come to a point of discussion
Yep.
here because we have funded that project differently.
Yep,
So it likely would never come to this board as a point of discussion. However, it may come to this board as a point of discussion about how much they should be charged for water usage.
cool.
I'm just saying it may get to this point.
Okay.
It may come to us at some point
Good.
without having a larger conversation with the chair of the select board,
Yep.
without really understanding how that's all gonna go.
Yeah,
I would like to see the people that need to connect to the system, connect to it,
yeah,
because again, it takes some burden off of them. They don't have to be concerned
Yeah.
about, what their water is. They just don't need to be concerned about it.
cool.
All right, so no water operators report tonight.
No,
Bills payable.
bills payable. I see a lot of bills that came in from small water systems. Lab fee and rebuild kit for the actuator.
We
the
did,
brake
we
actuator.
authorized that, yep,
one.
yep.
We have administrative service, consumer notification. Copper and lead consumer notification form and correspondence certification for DEP. Requirements all for public water supply, so that's a no-brainer, that's $200.
Yep.
That's something that we have to do. And then we have, another one here that is for replace the pH line and the probe sensors, calibrations, digital sensors. And that one was for $5,359.64.
Yep.
Didn't we talk about that?
We did.
Yeah, so that's I
We
think
did.
all those
We
charges are,
We talked about that,
Rightfully
doing
so.
the pH stuff. Rebuild kits.
Yep.
Yep, we talked about all that stuff, so.
so you should have a couple of,
Lab freeze.
what's that packet? A or one?
Yep, you can call it one if you want.
For 12,284, 115. I'll make a motion to pay for packet one, our bills in the sum of $12,284.15.
Okay, I will second that motion. Any further discussion?
Nope,
All those in favor?
aye,
Aye, unanimous.
very good. B is for 6,000. And I'll make a motion to pay our bills for packet B in the amount of $6,000.
And I will second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye, unanimous. Oh, one of them.
Thank you.
One of them always has a spot for the date and the other one doesn't.
and as you were telling me prior to our meeting, wanna briefly explain secretarial minute taker is gonna get paid by
I
some
was,
other entity?
yes, I was sent an email.
Oh, they're changing you too.
Yes, they are. They're changing me, they're changing us too.
This
All
has
right.
been a nightmare.
I bet.
Has it?
Nightmare.
Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry to hear that, but they want to pay you as an employee through the town ledger.
Which I'm already being paid through as, for the Board of Health.
Okay,
So I'm already set up for all of it.
so you're already set up for all of that. Apparently redevelopment authority is the same thing.
I was told, no, they're their own entity. I was told you were no, because you're your own entity.
Yeah.
Well, apparently that changed somewhere along the line. The email
I
that
did a
came.
records request, so. I think I-
Yeah, okay, so,
Love that,
okay.
because we are a separate entity.
Concurring- Yes, we are.
So why don't we
Process through
get clarification
payroll.
on that?
Yes, okay, so we should get clarification on that. I will bounce it back.
But in the meantime, she should be paid.
Supposed to go through payroll now. Okay, sorry, I couldn't answer. I have Bob Francis in my office. North Carver Water District and RDA secretaries do not go through payroll because they pay their own bills. However, somewhere later in it, all recording secretaries are paid through payroll. So,
Let's get clarification, make sure that we take care of
yes, absolutely.
our people.
And different amounts they get paid too.
Really?
Are they
Okay.
adjusting your fee?
Oh, they adjusted other people's fee.
That's
That was the records
interesting.
request.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see.
Okay, I'll bark back and see
Go
what
back and-
happens. I will bark back and see what
Glad I
happens.
asked the question.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did too. I will bark back.
Barking.
and- Yep, and see what happens. I'll make it sound appropriate for something that happens at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when I do my emailing. I send emails out at like first thing in the morning
Yep.
because that's when
Nobody's bothering you.
that's when I'm that's when I'm most awake, actually. By afternoon I fade. All right, minutes.
Paste. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 4th, 2021 as presented.
I will second that. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so correspondence, we have a commitment, FY '22. It was actually for October 5th, but she didn't get it to me until today. It doesn't have any fire protection on it, so I did bounce it back to her to ask what's going on with the fire protection. So, but it's for $25,872.58. Typically, that would have been the kind of thing that I would have just gone in and signed, but
Yep.
she sends it to me on the day of, so I put it in
Yeah.
front. I put it in front of everybody.
So I'll make a motion to approve and sign our commitment for October 5th, 2021 for $25,872.58.
I will second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
What was the date on that again? October what?
October
5, 2021.
That's a for you. Okay, next meeting, we'll have, I gotta figure out when it is, cause I'm in Florida.
Uh-oh. Come on, that's not what I want. Stupid
We
phone.
usually do what, the first Monday of the month?
We do the second Monday.
Second Monday, I'm
So that
still in
would-
Florida on the 13th.
That would be the 13th.
So, I mean, you can still have it.
We can.
I might call in,
Okay.
or unless you wanna push it to the 20th, I'm back on the 20th. But that's Christmas week and
Yeah.
it'd be crazy.
Well, actually, by the 13th, my craziness is over.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I'm all done on the 12th. My craziness is done by then, and I can just kind of coast into the holiday after that.
Like that.
And I do that.
So it's totally up to you. I mean, I can always call in, so.
All right. Why don't we do the 13th? I'm thinking that's probably what Steve is going to expect.
Yeah,
17th. I have Marshall Tucker Band on the 17th.
so I'll make a motion to have our next meeting for December 13th, 2021 at 5:30.
5:30 is perfect. All right. I will second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
6:08.
Nice.